I'm not hip at all.
I'm not a boomer.
All right, let's get this puppy started.
3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back to Server Restart Ends, a weekly World of Warcraft podcast where three opinionated players like to get together to discuss their thoughts and opinions about the current state of the game. My name is Jim, joined by Kristen.
Hello.
And Brian.
Hello.
And this week, we've got kind of quite a fair amount of data to relay. There's been a lot of information, I guess, data mined from the 9.1 PTR about some changes that are coming and some things that may be in store for the next patch. Least among them is this will probably be a good thing to start on because I know it'll probably appeal to Kristen, is they are removing the cap on how many battle pets you can have.
Really?
So you can have still only 3 of a type.
Sure.
But it appears that the cap has been removed, meaning you can have as many unique pets as you would like.
So what they did is they put in a sink for all of your pet tokens where you increased it from 1,000 to 2,000, and now they're just making that redundant because they're just getting rid of it. Because
you had the pocket pet portal and the interdimensional pet portal.
Thanks, Blizzard, for making me farm that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they did it or why they didn't do it, but that is one thing. I mean, it's a nice thing.
Yeah.
So I figured that was a good thing to start on. Another nice thing is they're adding a bunch of glasses transmogs. Like eyeglasses and half spectacles and like stern librarian glasses and stuff like that.
Okay. You know it's not so great? They're nerfing druids.
Damn it. Would you stop? I wanted to get through some good stuff and they are a little bit, I saw.
Yeah, it's a moderate nerf.
To be fair, they kind of were a little overpowered.
I mean,
a little bit. It's not like they're slamming them into the ground. They're putting Starfall on a cooldown.
Yeah, that sucks because you could only have one out at a time as it was. So it typically did have one. They're putting Stellar Drift on a cooldown.
That's what I meant.
And that sucks because you took that talent and it made you better at AoE. But made you a little bit worse at single target. So you took a hit to your single target to take that talent anyway. So,
well, I mean,
if you chose to use it, which I did because I'm lazy and I don't want to keep changing my talents every boss like I did 2 expansions ago.
Right. I mean, I guess somebody's going to eventually run the numbers and see kind of what
they're doing
really
it already.
changed. So, I mean, yeah, there was that. They're adding supposedly individual shoulder transmogs.
Left and right?
Yes. So you can have 2 different shoulders.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that was in the code, I think, or people had saw that during beta.
Huh.
So
it's interesting because they already have some sets that only have one side.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Herod's shoulder is the most unique one. Well, if you think about it, the transmog I use is the DK appearance from Mythic Battle for Dazar lore, and so it's got the normal shoulder pad on the left side, but the right side is that giant trike skull.
Yeah.
You could put that on both sides, or if your weapon clips, you could swap them so that it's mirror image. You could play around with it quite a bit.
Yeah. No, that's pretty decent. I feel like WoW really has nailed it as far as transmog. As far as ease of use, you go, you collect the items, you have them, and then it's very easy for you to transmog your gear. And in my opinion, they nailed it, right? They did a really good job with, I can't believe I'm being positive, but they did a really good job when they did transmog. I wish other games would incorporate WoW's transmog situation, whatever I wanted to say, into it. Like, that would be nice. Like, because they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, I mean, some other systems are pretty nice.
Yeah.
And again, I think like the eyeglasses thing, I think is gonna kind of play into it too, because it's gonna allow you to maybe make more civilian type transmogs.
I mean, I'm just waiting for them to put in like hoodies and freaking
I mean,
jeans. And
there are plenty of characters in the game that wear glasses. That is not immersion breaking.
Who wears glasses?
I don't know. I'm sure they exist.
There's plenty of characters, though.
One of the Worgen characters in the...
Yeah, if you think about the Worgen, right, like that whole like steampunk aesthetic or whatever, or like that.
They wear glasses?
Yes.
In the cinematic thing, it wasn't cinematic, it was in-game engine cinematic. I don't know what you call those, but...
like an in-game cutscene type thing?
Yeah, like when it first starts, I think the dude with the top hat walks up to the Worgen or whatever and is in disgust. But I think
yeah, okay, I do recall that.
Yeah, and it's not so hard to imagine too, because there are people with monocles as well.
Sure.
I mean, a monocle is just half of a glass, right?
Yeah,
half of a pair of glasses. So it kind of makes sense that civilization is advancing enough, and maybe they stole it from the brokers. Maybe they got it from a different universe. But so I think there's like somebody's found like 6 different ones of it or whatever.
Where did they get them from?
That I don't know. I think they're I think they actually made, do you remember you used to wear them, the bedazzled sunglasses?
Yeah.
I think that's an actual going to be a transmog now. Instead of just the toy. Because I remember when you got those, you were walking around Dalaran, because it was in Legion, right?
I don't remember.
You had them, was it on your... Oh, no, was it for a quest?
I think it was for a quest.
Yeah, and you had to walk around Dalaran kind of like showing them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a quest.
I think you enjoyed the hell out of that.
I did enjoy it very much. And I was very upset because I went and I got a pair of sunglasses and they didn't say on there. They were like the only pair that didn't say that you could only use them at a specific time.
Oh, like the...
Yeah, and it was super... And then you bought them. It was like a bait and switch. You bought them, and then you found out that you could only use them during that event, which I hate. I wish they would stop doing that. Stop tying armor to the specific events, please. Let me wear my goddamn Santa suit in the middle of July, please. It's freaking booty shorts and a vest. Come on now. How is that not an appropriate time? How is that not appropriate attire for summer? Come on now.
I think it's the fur line.
Maybe, but I don't know. That's silly to me. But.
Another thing they're adding is apparently there seems to be a new in-game system that is either directly taken from or extremely reminiscent of the Mythic Plus dungeon score functionality from Raider.io.
Yeah.
So apparently that's going to be incorporated into the game.
Fantastic.
Well,
that's beautiful.
I mean, if you pug and you don't want to be judged, that does suck.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's the reason it's going to suck, because it's going to make you hard to get into doing that. However, for like us, it's like it doesn't really impact us that much because we don't necessarily pug keys.
So the thing about that is, if they're going to have something to help, they're solving the wrong problem.
Yep.
With something like that. And if they're going to go that far to create a system that kind of gives you an arbitrary ranking based on, some bullshit that they kind of figured that the community thought was a great idea, right? If it's influenced by Raider.io, then why not just make a queuing system based on a rating?
Why don't they just
fix Mythic Plus and get rid of it?
Well, I mean, they're focusing on the wrong.
Yeah.
They're fixing the wrong problem. That's
Yeah.
the thing, is that there's other problems to be fixed to fix
Yeah.
what it is to waste a key or have people troll keys and stuff like that, right? And that's kind of, it's the same. Nobody remembers Gear Score, apparently. Like,
Oh God, I remember it, and it was a
the
shit
worst
show.
part. The end of Lich King was one of the most terrible
Yes.
experiences in terms of,
Yes.
especially and that was just when
Yep.
the Dungeon Finder had came out, and that was really fun.
It made elitism.
Oh yeah, it was incredibly toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
so bad.
I think if they were to do it and maybe make it an internal system where you have no way to access it, it's not exposed by any API or whatever, and it's automatically baked into Group Finder. When you queue, it'll, like, anybody that's in your party or whatever, it'll take like an average of that and then only show it to people searching for keys that are of that fall into a certain bracket based on average. And if it was all invisible and people didn't see it and people couldn't use it to exclude people, then I could see that being okay. But the fact that they can even tell that it's there means it's not going to be.
Right.
Can you imagine a real world situation where you're an employer and instead of just seeing a bunch of people apply for a job, right, where you're an equal opportunity employer and you just see resumes, now those resumes have your race and your sex and all these things that are more identifiable in order for them to better pick out the best possible thing, right?
I don't think it's cool.
It's not that. I'm talking about the comparison.
Right.
Can you imagine being in a situation where, you know what I mean? Like, because unfortunately, reality is that's the case, right?
Yep.
And in this case, they're creating that I don't want to call it segregation, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just not fair, right? You should try to take that person that may or may not fuck your key up, right? Like, I'm sorry,
right.
but that's just the way the system is.
Yeah.
Mythic is a pick up and go system right now. And that's what you deal with it, right? That's what keeps it more
the problem.
You know what I mean? Like,
more dynamic, more just what no, I know, I get what you're saying, but the problem is that they're treating the gear score like the resume, like your accomplishments or your schooling or something like that. But the way they're calculating this number isn't an accurate reflection, because you can go in and get carried.
Yeah.
And the higher the thing is,
it could be a number of factors. You could have
a
really shitty day and you just want to troll everybody, but you got a great score and you go in and you...
I'm telling you.
It's not foolproof by any means.
I'm telling you, I can fix Mythic Plus, boom, like that.
No, you're just getting rid of them. That's not fixing it.
No. I can fix Mythic Plus like that. Get rid of the timer. Boom. Done.
Speaking of getting rid of things, I was reading some stuff about Torghast. Apparently, because this is
getting rid of that.
No, because
Right?
Just listen. You're talking about getting rid of the timer, right? Well, what's your timer in Torghast? Your death count.
So Torghast is, we're getting rid of Torghast in two different ways.
So what happens when your death count runs out?
The Terragru comes.
And where is the Terragru going to be?
He's going to be gone because
he's going to be
in the
gone.
raid.
Yes. So your death
busy raiding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's chasing down people in raid. So there's no more Terragru.
At least somebody will be busy raiding.
Are they really taking out?
From what I can see, it seems like that's the case. There's no death count in Torghast.
That was one of the funnest things about.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with
it was fun one time. Otherwise, it really.
So the problem with it is because when you have a group, and let's say you just have somebody that makes a few mistakes and they lose a couple of deaths for that, and now you guys can't finish it because of the Terragru.
Right.
How bad does that person feel? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think removing it's probably a good a good way to go.
They need a way that you can just go ahead and finish somehow, but like you know what I mean. Like you have to go run away from it or something, and then you gotta like you gotta do circles. You know what I mean
could
around
crowd
it
control it, or maybe you know what I mean. You could
give people a
Yeah.
chance, right? If you're just
Yeah.
gonna end the session, yeah, that was cool for the first time. That
But-
this big ass dude just started ripping everything up and one shot you at the very end. But after that, it's just once you get into a cycle of farming something, it's not fun anymore.
If
Right.
if it would
gimmicky.
have given you a percentage of the soul ash
based on how
Oh,
far
yeah.
you
based
got.
on how far you got
Yeah.
and
But
whatnot,
again, they're solving the wrong problem.
Sure.
So we,
right?
Sure.
They're adding more layers, longer floors, or not longer floors, but more layers. They're adding,
scoring.
More layers, really.
they're extending some of the runs.
So that's what was frustrating was when I thought that Torghast, and this was probably my own like ignorance and problem is I assumed that it was going to be a specific way, and clearly it is not going to be that way. But the way that it sounded like they were announcing it, it was just going to be an endless run, and you could see how far up you could get.
Well, and when you guys were in the beta, you were doing that. You guys were on like crazy floors. They never indicated that they were going to be gating that behind patches.
yeah.
And
Well,
that seems like what's happened.
and not only that, though, like, I don't want to go in and just do 6 layers, right? It's layers, 6
It's
layers.
6 floors on a layer.
6 floors on a layer. Like, that's not enough time to get the good. So it feels very punishing if you get bad things because you don't have time to make up for the bad things that you get with some good ones that you might potentially get. You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah.
So it's it doesn't feel good.
Right.
So you get some
If-
bad ones right off the bat, and you're screwed for your entire run.
They are adding some more wings, or a new wing. So I don't know what that's going to be like. But the thing that they really should do is they should make them longer, and they should make it so that you can keep going. Like twisting corridors, but just continue. You know what I mean? It's like
Until you're,
you get up to 18, and really, if they just had a way to like kind of save your progress for the week, and it's just like when you
Yeah.
get to a checkpoint, you can leave and come back, and then start at that checkpoint or a few floors below.
that would be cool.
And then let's say you went into the endless, like they call it like endless corridors, right?
Yeah.
Where it just never stopped, or like,
And you just keep pushing forward.
and you get to whatever multiple of 6 you want to do. Like you get to floor 36, which would be 6 wings, right? 6 layers or 6 iterations, right? And you're like, well, it's Tuesday night and it's midnight, and it took me from the time that the server came up to get this far. I'm going to go ahead and take a break. And then like a couple days later, you go pick up, you start at 37. The next one, I don't know how they would preserve your powers and all that stuff. I guess that's kind of maybe one of the main issues why they don't. But if they had a way to just kind of store that like a raid lockout, like what powers you had and all that stuff, and just start you back again and let you go, that would be nice.
I think they should like actually make Torghast more like the regular world and less like an instance game that was specifically created for a purpose. Like you go in and maybe there's some daily quests you go in and do there instead of just getting them from venereal and then going in and checking the box type of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, like every now and then you do get a covenant calling to go in and get burning embers from there or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah, but like
once
like
every
you run through the dungeon and randomly find it instead of the person that gives you the anima power that you can't do anything with when you leave anyways. Make it a daily quest and there's a chance for
Just put-
something to blah 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 blah.
Just put some fucking anima in there. Just put something
Yeah.
in there as a reward, and
Yeah.
that's kind
That's
of
what I'm saying. Like
problem.
they built this big ass system that's kind of fun and it's kind of random sometimes. It's not as random as I thought it was going to be, but in the end, all you get is some gold and
Soul Ash.
soul ash.
Right.
And nobody needs fucking gold anymore.
Well, what I was reading, liken Torghast to the greater rifts from Diablo, but without the loot. Like a hard, like you go in and you beat this damn thing. That's a hard thing.
And why
to do.
not the loot?
Yeah, why not
Why
the
not
loot?
the loot?
I don't know. Don't
Why
look at me.
not?
I'm not the loot Nazis here.
Why can't I have a chance to get a badass epic BOE?
Why?
You know, like,
why not just give shit gear that's just awesome transmogs?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
even if
something, man.
even
Like-
if it was just cosmetic shit. You know what I mean?
I would like to say that I bet you. I really just want to say that they missed the opportunity because of scheduling or something like that, right? I really want to say that they had it in their heart to create this thing that we were describing, and they just didn't have time to make it happen. And the opportunity is already passed. Because it's hard to see that they spent so much time and effort on this system, because it's not really a lot like much of what they've done in the past. Even with the one-off patch island things that they've done where there's events and stuff like that, this is still very unique. And it was done really well despite the rewarding system. So
yeah,
I'm willing. I would love to say that they just didn't have a chance to do what they were actually wanted to do with it, and that.
I mean,
that's
I don't know. As a concept, islands give you more shit than fucking Torghast does.
Yeah.
And I loved islands. I loved islands a lot, actually.
Islands were not. Islands were.
Can you go into islands now and just like one shot them, like with just one person, or do you have to queue with multiple people?
You can't
I don't
queue
know if you
solo.
can queue now.
Oh, I don't like that.
It was always set up to be threes.
Sure, in that expansion, but think about it. You know, I mean, people go back and farm old content all the time. Why would you not want to go back and farm that old content for the cosmetics and mounts and shit like that?
I mean, everybody deserves a fish.
Yeah. I mean, you can buy them on the auction house. But...
Get the fuck out of here. Nobody better be buying those. My fish. But, yeah, no. I mean, if it just had stupid shit like that, like just some dorky mounts or some dorky fucking transmog shit or some pets, you know, or, you know, just some shitty loot or whatever, you know, that you could at least sell and make a little bit more gold than what you get from it. It's just, you're right.
It wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much, and it's again like you said. But I think Islands actually did a fairly decent job because it dropped enough pets and enough.
You also got currency.
Artifact?
Yeah, you got currency. So
quests to do artifact power or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah.
What the
Azurite.
Azurite power. AP.
It's artifact, anima,
well
and then they had coins, and they had the sea
the doubloons.
Yes.
So you could buy things with it if they were.
Those were added after, though, right?
No,
didn't they?
They added more to it. They added heirlooms in the middle of it and stuff.
Yeah.
They added more things you could buy, but they were there from the beginning. If
right,
they would
you're
add a currency to Torghast and you could buy things like that, you know, and you got
your Soul Ash,
a fairly decent amount, you know, maybe from each floor boss or something like that, or I wouldn't necessarily tie it to the end boss, only because I guess with the
I hate that so much.
Maybe make
the Soul Ash being the very last boss drop. Like, I know we talked about it before, but split the damn thing up, right? And if there's other stuff, split it up. Like, why have this whole 45 minutes of a runtime and only have something drop off one thing? Other than gold and shit.
Or make it so there's some sort of, like, stuff you have to do in the instance. Like, have some objectives, right? So if you kill 20 of these things, you get this amount of Soul Ash. If you kill, if you do kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Make it so that the fucking traps hurt the enemies, and it's like kite.
Yes.
Eight, leads through the fire pits or whatever, stuff
shit
like that.
Yeah, to make it a little bit more engaging rather than just running in, AoEing everything down, and then moving on to the next pack, which is what we do now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But I mean, they are making some changes, and I'm hoping that...
Did you mention the scoring system thing that they data mined?
Did they actually do that? I didn't see anything about that.
What scoring system?
I think they data mined stuff related to spells or mechanics or something of that nature. But it went with getting rid of the Terragru.
Oh, in Torghast.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when you you say a scoring system, like I didn't see anything about like any type of like scoring system or something like that.
But it says on the PTR they data mined replacing the Terragru in a death counter failure state. Instead, Blizzard is moving towards a score based system with factors such as speed and deaths.
Oh, great. Speed again.
But it's not a
Well,
timer.
I think that's it's just a, remember we talked about this, like having like
The faster you,
Right.
it's just like, you know, DBM keeps track of your boss kills, right? It would just be a way to track how
some
fast.
replayability for some, but like I would go back and play it because I was actually doing fairly well in it for my warriors. So
It's like, you know,
not
yeah,
that
like
you get anything out of it, but
I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe it would be like you get like a leaderboard and you could create like a little mini like you know like a a little insular community of like people that try to speed run and find the meta class that's gonna just walk in and just. I mean, of course, people have beat the damn thing in like 2 minutes
Yeah.
because they
I
like
don't-
just sell through to the end boss kind of thing. But
I don't care about the well, some of them you can't, but I don't care about the leaderboards. Like if they were to do a leaderboard, I'm okay with that. I don't care if, you know what I mean, for speed,
Well, yeah, it's
'cause I
not
don't
for
care
you.
about that. Right, it's not anything I would do or anything I would worry about.
as
But
long as
that's
it's
great.
not a detriment.
Right, exactly. As long as it does not impact what I can get from it. You know what
you
I mean?
have to achieve a certain score to
Yeah.
open the attunement for the next raid
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
That
for normal dungeons.
yeah.
Ah,
You know what I mean? Like it's bad enough they already gated being able to upgrade gear behind that stupid terrible keymaster thing that you're going to have to farm every goddamn season, which is stupid and I hate it. Like not that Blizzard is ever going to listen to this, but I hate it, Blizzard. I hate it.
So they are making some changes though as far as gearing is concerned. So they're starting to separate the gearing paths and make them less viable outside of that gearing path. So we already know that there are going to be raid sets coming out that are going to give you bonuses. That I don't know if those are going to be bonuses that are going to work in PvE content across the board or just inside of raid content, which it should be just inside raid content. But they are introducing PvP gear, which will now gain a bonus 13 item levels when you're in PvP. And instead of, you know, so let's say you get a 200 item level item from a PvE thing. If you were to get the equivalent item from a PvP thing, instead of being 200, it would be 194. It will be 6 item levels lower. But when you take it into PvP, it goes up 13 item levels, it becomes a 207.
What?
They're making PvP gear better for PvP than PvE
No,
gear.
that's fine. I don't understand why it feels like that's super convoluted.
Well, it's
Like that feels like a super convoluted way of doing it.
What are people doing right now? They're boosting in PvP because PvP was the
Right.
best way to get
get
PvE gear.
Yes.
But if you go out and you farm PvP gear in the next patch, it's going to be 6 item levels lower than the equivalent piece of PvE gear and not as good. So it's trying to deter people from farming it via PvP.
It's just a different way of them adding resilience to gear.
It is. And it's a way to make it so that PvP gear is better for PvP than PvE gear.
Right.
That's all it is. So you're starting to silo the gear. And the only thing that's really it's going to affect people that like to do both PvE and PvP because now they're going to have to keep separate gear sets. But I think it kind of moves in the right direction towards fixing the gearing paths instead of making it so that, well, the best way to get gear to do well in raiding is to PvP.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be that way anymore, which I guess it still could be because you could get PvP gear that's going to be higher, but it's still going to be less than an equivalent difficulty from PvE content, but it
But
might
if
be
you're
a
not
good starting
lucky,
point.
yeah, if you're not lucky and you're waiting to get that great piece from PvE, but you get it from PvP, it's
not a 100%, oh, this is the best fix, but it is, I think, a step in the right direction. And it kind of goes along with some of the discussions we've had in the past about gearing and about how raid gear should be the best for raiding, dungeon gear should be the best for dungeons, and PvP gear should be the best for PvP. And they're making PvP gear the best for PvP. And they're, so I think that's a good step in the right direction. And it might, and obviously this isn't necessarily a final solution, because they say, well, we have a problem and this is an attempt at a solution, and it's really hard to test this without releasing it to the wild, right? So they're going to put this out, and it's going to be, they're going to see how it works. If it works, it's going to give them more incentive to start, changing the gearing options to be more in line with this gear is the best for this type of content.
Yeah, I think it's just hard because competitive people are just always going to be competitive people, and they're just always going to do whatever they can do because they're going to be min-maxers.
To get an edge, yeah.
Yeah, and they're going to do whatever they, so it's not going to stop them from doing that. They're still going to do that. It is what it is.
Sure, they're still going to do it, but it's not going to make it necessarily the best path.
Right.
And so by not being the best path, it's like, because when we talked about this before, about being boosted to whatever was it, 2,400 rating in arenas or whatever, so you could get a 230 weapon kind of thing. Yeah. It's like, well, if you do that, you would end up only getting a 224.
Oh no, only a 224.
Which by the time you did that, you may have gotten something already.
Right.
Which, again, the odds of that happening are kind of low. However, there is also some data mine text event. They might be bringing back bonus rolls.
I don't know why they didn't. That and flight whistles, the Flight Master's whistle, that just. What's the burns my britches?
Burns my business. Grinds my gears.
Grinds my gears. Yeah. Like, I don't understand why they took. Why would you? Why would you not put that in? Like, it's people like it. It's useful. Why would you not put it in?
Because they want you to experience the in-between.
You still had to experience the in-between.
Always. Ever.
They just made it more annoying. Like, I don't know. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. So, I guess since we were in the talking about Torghast quite a bit, it's not too far to step out to the maw. And so they are adding a bunch of interesting things to the maw. So there's that new zone. There's going to be some quest stuff from Venari to where you can get rid of the Eye of the Jailer, which it'll be around until you do that. However, that's going to be character based, not account bound.
Sure.
They're also adding some flight path stuff. So there's going to be a quest for the new zone in the maw that I think you have to go through, and I don't remember if it was a Covenant class or not, as far as opening flight, but that's going to be along the ways. But once you set up a waypoint, and Korthia is the name of the new zone, you'll be able to set up a waystone, a two-way waystone, which is essentially an insular flight path from, like, I guess Venari's refuge to the new thing or something like that. So it'll be a new teleporter just between those two zones. It won't be able to take you out of the mall kind of thing. But it will allow you to do that so that you can kind of bump around easier down there. You get rid of the Eye of the Jailer. What else are they doing? Yep. And they're going to add Covenant assaults into the mall. So apparently every week or half week, different Covenants are going to be performing an assault on the mall. Kind of like, what do they liken it to? Oh,
The Legion assault?
No, the assaults we did in BFA at the end. The ones like in BFA.
Weren't we talking about this?
Yeah, we said they should bring in. Well, I was more so talking about the Maw doing assaults in the Shadowlands, but now the Covenants are coming in,
right?
And we're going to be doing things, and there'll be new
because we took the fight to the mall.
Yeah,
yeah, we're bringing it to the Jailer's
every expansion. We bring the fight to the thing.
The fight to the thing.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, they're making some changes. It'll be interesting, and again, I think a lot of that's going to be character bound, not account bound. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what these assaults are like. I think they're saying they're going to be kind of like the assaults that are going on currently. So you know how you got the minor events that happen in the Beast Warrens, or you have the defeat the Jailer's force.
They're still part of the mall that we haven't opened up yet. Like that very last portion, right?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I haven't
Possibly.
been to the mall
I haven't
in-
maxed my stuff out for Venari. Probably should do that.
Yeah.
Get that rep up so she doesn't.
Yeah,
hate me.
maybe I'm not all the way finished. I'm not sure. It's like the very last sliver past the Beast Warren, whatever.
Actually,
up
that
there.
might actually be in the next thing. I think they had a name for it. Desmateron. Yes, it's a previously inaccessible section of the mall. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you almost instantly die if you go there. Like you
Yeah.
get hit by a
So
spell.
I think that's what's going to be another thing, too, is that new characters won't have those blocks for those areas after
Right.
9-1.
Right.
So, like, we had to do the quest and unlock the wherever the little stronghold is, or the
they
Beast
won't
Warrens
have
area.
those?
I don't think they'll have to do that. They'll be
I
able
thought
to
those
go.
were based on rep, though.
I think they're going to allow you to go directly there, but some of the things maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. I haven't really done a lot of alt stuff in the mall,
I haven't
honestly.
done a lot of anything in the mall.
There's going to be. This is a slight spoiler alert for a character that's going to be there.
Oh.
But one of the Valkyr from the Warrior, Skyhold, is going to be there, and you're going to rescue her. There's like a whole quest that's apparently going to take you up to Skyhold and back to the mall.
How'd she get there?
My guess is Helya. Because
that whole back channel system they have, apparently.
Wasn't Skyhold, though,
Skyhold was a part of
Odin's...
Uldum? What's Ulduar? That got locked away.
He moved.
Did he move
didn't
it, or did Helya move it and get locked away? Somehow it
I
got
thought
moved.
He moved it.
He moved it, but she locked it away until Legion
So
when
were
it got
the,
opened
were
up.
the people in Skyhold dead or alive? So I thought it was
mean,
version of, like, Valhalla or
It is.
whatever.
So they're dead.
So they're dead. So why are they in... If they're already
Well,
dead,
I mean,
why
you-
are
Because
they in the maw?
because the jailer's getting stronger and sucking them down. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was locked away so that nobody could go there because that's where the Helheim Valyar came from. I don't remember what they're called. The swamp,
Valajar?
the Valyar, or whatever. The dudes with the seaweed on them.
Yeah.
Those guys, they were Helya's minions because she locked away Skyhold and was taking them all for her own army. So potentially she could have captured a Valkyr or whatever and brought him down. So
Oh, yeah, because she was the one that was supposed to ferry them to Skyhold for him, right?
Yeah, she was.
Is that what that was?
Well, she's a Valkyr. She's technically supposed to be a Valkyr, but she's been warped and all that stuff by her time in Helheim, I guess, which is why she has the current.
She's had a Helheim of a time.
Yes, she has.
You should just turn around and see yourself out, because that was horrible. But
I think
no, come back, Brian.
I think that should be the title of the episode. A Helheim of a time.
Yes, for the 10 seconds we talked about Helheim.
Yeah.
All right. All I see is your chin. Let's see what else is there. Yeah, we talked about the glasses. Talked about the PvP gear. They re-recorded all of Kael'thas's lines.
Oh yeah, I
No one gives a shit about that.
All right, well then moving on.
No, why did they do that? They changed the voice actor.
Well,
Cancel culture. That's why.
the original voice actor is
No.
there's allegations of some. How did they phrase it? Sexual
Misconduct.
misconduct and
You call it mixed conduct?
mixed conduct, yeah, and
Sexual mixed conduct.
potentially like grooming fans or whatever.
Oh,
But at this
no.
point, it's all allegations
Speculation.
that have been raised by several people, and however, there was also what else did they say that with some stuff coming out or with Classic coming out or TBC coming out, they may have also already been taking steps to just re-record the lines for Classic anyway to get better recordings and just gone with somebody else anyway.
Right.
But they've already introduced them into the PTR patch, which apparently also goes back to the Burning Crusade stuff that's in retail now as well.
Right.
So they did that, but they didn't. There was another character he did that they didn't necessarily re-record the lines yet or something. But anyway, I don't know. That was just a brief thing.
Well, all right then.
And that's pretty much all the stuff I kind of pulled out from the 9.1 stuff that I thought was interesting to talk about that I figured we would have something to say on. I don't know if you had something.
There's a major spoiler if you want to go into that.
What's the spoiler?
Well, do you want to go into it?
How much of a spoiler is it? Is it like
It's a big spoiler.
like story point, or are we talking about lore point A?
Lore point A, yes.
That doesn't
That
seem
one.
to be that bad. We can talk about that. I mean, we kind of figured that was a thing anyway.
I don't care.
Yeah,
Are you
go for it.
absolutely sure?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's all speculation at this point, right?
Oh yeah. But
No.
if anybody
Nope,
doesn't
nope,
want to,
absolutely
if anybody
confirmed.
doesn't want to hear it though, turn it off now.
No, you
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler alert.
All right, what is it? Whatever. Fuck it. I'm going to find out anyway. Because you're going to say something anyway at some point.
So the rune carver.
Uh-huh.
So during this process of Zorval collecting sigils, he goes to, or he already has collected the one from the Primus.
Right, the
Okay.
keys. The one.
Yeah, so he already has that one apparently.
So, okay, so he has that one. He got the one from the Archon,
So it's
and he
two.
said he had 3, right? And 2 remain, or did he say he had 2 and 3 remain? I don't remember in the
So
cinematic.
he probably already has what's his nuts.
Daenerys's.
Yep.
So he has 3.
So he's got the Winter Queen, and then
No. Why would he have the Winter Queens?
no, he needs the
Left.
Winter Queen,
Oh.
and then
Left. Yeah.
He needs
and then
a-
he needs the. Oh wait, hold on. I don't. I may have it backwards. It doesn't matter. The point is, they do something. The Necrolords do something to bring the Primus back from the Rune Carver.
So the premise is the rune carver.
so the Rune Carver is
So
like
we
a
were
shell.
right.
Yeah, he's like a shell or something. Yeah, it's all been data mined, the text and stuff, because it's a part of the
The
It looks
Covenant
like
quest?
it's a part of the quest line to Korthia or something like that, or it's
Okay.
a part of the raid going on. But it's super interesting because as soon as I saw
Right.
The
as soon as I saw
model?
Primus, I jumped on it. I'm glad because
Well,
Well,
I mean,
it's
I've hated
good.
how
I wish they would have made the model a little bit different looking instead of it being.
Yeah, it
'Cause
was very.
I hate the you talking about the rune carver and the statue or
Yes, the Rune Carver has a lot of similarities to the Primus
Yeah.
that we see. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I wish they would have made it a little bit less obvious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
They did telegraph it pretty.
well, that's what too. Like the data mined model for the Primus is almost nothing like the statue or the rune carver. Look,
Huh.
well,
I mean, it
yeah,
just
he's
looks,
got a beard.
You can see small resemblances, yeah, but it looks more like that original
it looks
data
more like
mined, the original data mined image of. I think what we thought was Zorval at one point that had a beard and stuff, and he was locked with chains. Do you recall that?
no. I don't think I watched a lot of stuff that was data mined from the beta or whatnot, or like the original stuff, like the alpha builds and whatnot. I think he looks kind of like a wizened old druid. You know what he looks like? The enchanter named Tim from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. He's got that beard and those stag horns or whatever. He's like, they called me Tim. What? If the Primus just starts off, what is your favorite color?
Green.
No,
No,
yellow.
blue.
Ah! My cat's
What is your
look. My
favorite
cat's
covenant?
Bastion. No. My cat's looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But no, that was pretty much it for him. It just looks like you do something because Zorval's like on his way collecting all these sigils, and they're trying to stop him. And
Well,
it's
sure.
something about the Necrolords figure out how to do something to the Rune Carver to bring him out of it. That's the best I could read from it.
I wonder if it's because we're bringing him memories, right? And we've
Oh,
been
yeah.
bringing
No,
him
that's a good
memories,
point.
and it's restored his stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
So
right.
he has all these memories of these sigils, and it's really what
Oh yeah,
and that's what he's really doing when he makes the legendary. He's taking the piece of gear
Yeah.
and things, and he's imprinting a
They-
sigil on it,
Yeah.
You take him that one. You take him that one memory that he actually didn't want to remember.
and he kills
Right?
you.
Yeah, it's just like, oh god.
God damn it.
He's like, God damn, rip this out of my head.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I
that's-
I don't
I
remember
feel
shitting
terrible.
my pants.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of figured that's not too bad of a spoiler. There are some interesting. I did see some interesting things for some loot drops from Sylvanas.
There's some cool looking mounts.
Sylvanas drops a bow that for hunters has a special effect where it shoots like one of her like purple arrows or whatever, and
Oh, that's cool.
it has some like additional effects. There's also a trinket called Old Orc's Soul.
Ooh.
So it's gonna be fucking Sourfang's soul.
Oh my god.
Rip.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I think it gives you like, I don't know if it was like just a warrior looking at it or something like that. Like, looked like some warrior based stuff, but it's pretty interesting. And I think she's got a cloak for hunters too. I don't know if there's been any type of indication on whether or not she actually dies or not. I don't really want to know because I mean,
Yeah, no, I know.
Some of the
I know.
some of the text they threw into the adventure guide, it sounds like it's going to be a really cool encounter. Because there's a lot to do with another. Well, spoiler alert again, but apparently it has something to do with Zorval like trying to ascend up the tower or ascend into Ouroboros or something. He's doing something, and she's trying to keep. It reads like she's trying to keep us off of him or something like that. So,
which I mean
It
that kind of
sounds
makes sense.
very interesting. So, yeah.
Oh, one other thing too. I forgot to mention this. When we do the whole thing with the creating the portal stuff in the mod to the new zone and all that stuff, we're using the world soul from Azeroth to empower that somehow, because there's the stone that takes us out. It's like that way stone from the first ones. That's what is another one that we find, and so because we're tied to a world soul through whatever, that's what's allowing us to activate it, and because we're kind of doing this, that's what's allowing us to summon mounts in the maw again. I don't know, it's just weird. But if they're just gonna, if they fucking drag watch Magni come in and just fucking kill the jailer.
Magni and me.
he's just gonna fucking pop up underneath him because he's got that stupid television. Oh, I'll give to the jailer.
I think that I will say, so there's some really neat mounts, right? That are on the PTR right now.
You mean the Covenant mounts, or do you mean just?
And yeah, well, I mean the Sylvanas' mount is the skeleton of a dragon hawk.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
What? Did she drop it?
Yeah, she's.
What?
Oh, yep. Vengeance dragon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
That's a DK
And
mount.
I was watching Twitch the other day, and I was watching the streamer go through and just do on the PTR, just do explorer stuff. And I really wish they would do more. I know they have like the secret finder stuff, and they put the secret finder stuff in there, but I really wish they would do more stuff with like have some sort of like explorer path. You know what I mean? Something where you're not, something that you could maybe do kind of like archaeology, like, what they used to, what you could do when you
In your
weren't
downtime?
Yeah, when you weren't raiding, or you weren't mythic plusing, or you weren't, you know what I mean? Just something chill that you could do. But it was neat. It was neat to watch and to try to figure out puzzles of how to do things, how to like jump from like, so they have these chains that just go up, 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 up. And
Where do they go?
up. Straight up. Like, so you can run on the chains. It's like running on the chains in Torghast, right? You're just running up them, and you get to a point where they just stop, right? Because it's where, so you're looking at this skybox and you're heading towards Torghast, right? But then you get to the point where you've gone kind of past to that, and the chains keep going, but there's nothing, right? So I was watching one of the streamers like jump, like get on like a goblin glider and jump, down to try to land on other chains and try to, get to other areas. I wish they would do something like that. Something like
Was he off?
No. Like he landed on them. Like he did pretty good. I was impressed.
On the chains?
Oh,
He was-
off the chain.
He was not off the chain. Isn't it off the hook? Is it off the chain? I don't know. I'm not up on my lingo.
I'm not hip at all.
I'm not. I'm a boomer. You're welcome.
Oh.
Poor Jim.
Ow. I'm in pain. Because I had something to say, and now it's just
no.
fucking gone.
You are welcome.
Yeah, trampled under the boomer feet.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and stop it there because I'm tired of this fucking talk. I'm tired of these fucking quips you guys are making.
Aww.
We had a good time today talking about basically just all the shit that's going to come out in 9.1. Some of it we like, some of it we don't. Some of it sounds like it might be a good time. Some of it sounds like it could just be shit, and Blizzard should take a listen and
because
implement some of the shit for Torghast that we talked about. That would fix it. Come on, it would
get
fix
rid of
it.
the timers on
It
Mythic
would
Plus.
fix it. Yeah, do that too because it'll make Kristen happy, and then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks everyone for listening. Check us out at our Facebook. It's facebook.com/server restart in. Shoot us a tweet at server_restart. And until next week, catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.